Hello everyone. I'm your teacher Dr. Satwinder Kaur, and in today's lecture I will talk about Mundell-Fleming model. If you like the content in my lectures, then kindly share, subscribe and like the lectures and content of my channel. And now I am going to start today's lecture. If there will be any problem related to any topic, then you can ask me in the comment section. So first of all, I want to tell you that the Mundell-Fleming model is basically associated with international trade and macroeconomics. So this is the part of the macroeconomics analysis, and this model is related to the exchange rate and balance of payment. So this model is basically given by Mundell and Fleming, two economists, in 1960s. And the model is basically related to the role of monetary and fiscal policy in the context of the open economy. Look, you know about the two tools, two instruments of economic policy. That is, one is the monetary policy, which work through central bank of the country, and second is the fiscal policy, which work through the government of the country. So this model is basically related to the open economy and how we apply monetary and fiscal policy in relation to the to achieve the objectives of economic policy. This model is also known as the Keynesian open economy model. So I have already explained you that in this two instruments are taken, one from the monetary policy and one from the fiscal policy. The first instrument which has been taken from the monetary policy is the rate of interest, and second instrument which has been taken from fiscal policy is government expenditure. So among so many instruments of the monetary policy, like there are quantitative instruments and qualitative instruments. Rate of interest has been taken, and among fiscal policy instruments like public debt, government expenditure, and deficit financing, etc., only government expenditure has been taken. Lastly, monetary policy works for, that is, the instruments of monetary policy basically utilized for external balances, and in order to manage the internal balance of the country, we use fiscal policy in this model. So now come to the assumptions of the model. The first assumption is the monetary policy related to change in the rate of interest. Fiscal policy related to deficit or surplus budget. Exports are given here. There is positive relationship between income and imports. This simply means that as more the income or earning of the people of the country, then more will be the imports, because with increase in the level of the income they demand more goods and services from other countries because of increasing their purchasing power. Next is the international capital movement depends on the rate of interest. We know in the international capital movement we usually discuss about this, that rate of interest is basically the center of attraction for inflows, that is the capital inflows and outflows from the country. So, in the model, according to Mundell and Fleming, if the countries where employment and balance of payment policies are related to monetary and fiscal instruments, in these countries, the balance of payment is balanced and maintained through monetary policy, and employment or external stability is maintained through fiscal policy. Means if you want to increase the level of full employment in the country, that is the internal stability, that can be done through fiscal policy. And if you want to achieve the external balance, that is the balance of payment deficit or surplus, that can be done through the monetary policy. In such kind of a countries, there is smooth and continuous adjustment is taken to achieve the targets. So basic conclusion is that if we try to achieve the internal balance with the fiscal policy and external imbalance with the help of monetary policy, then this will do work in a quite well manner, and it might be possible also that in few cases it achieve the target after facing some problems, but finally it will be a successful policy. So economists in this way explain that the monetary and fiscal policies can be used to achieve the internal as well as external stability. That means the instrument must match with the targets. That means if we follow in such way, that is the instrument of a full employment through fiscal policy and BOP management through monetary policy, that will be a quite good match. But it is the basic condition that the specific target must be achieved through a specific policy. We know that there are two types of policies and two type of exchange rates. So first of all, we are starting with the fixed exchange rate and Mundell-Fleming model. Now that means we are explaining the Mundell-Fleming model in case of fixed exchange rate, and there is taken perfect capital mobility. Perfect mobility has been taken as an assumption as well. So in the beginning, to begin with the fixed exchange rate and Mundell-Fleming model, first is the balance of payment is in equilibrium when domestic rate of interest is equal to international rate of interest. So there is a condition that balance of payment is always in equilibrium when the domestic rate of interest is equal to international rate of interest. So what if the domestic rate of interest is less than international rate of interest? Then there will be capital outflow from the country in order to find better rate of interest from the countries. So this is very simple to understand. Then whenever the rate of interest is less in the home country and more in the international market, that is in other countries, then there will be capital outflows to gain more and more surplus or profit in the money. In the opposite side, if the case is reversed, that is if the domestic rate of interest is greater than international rate of interest, then there will be more and more capital inflows in the countries because of decrease in the rate of interest at the limited level. That is when there is increase in the domestic rate of interest as compared to the international rate of interest, then no doubt there will be capital inflows in the country. But this capital inflow in the country, because of more capital inflows in the country, because of increase in the supply, there will start decrease in the rate of interest at the limited level. So we are here assuming a case of perfect capital mobility. I have already explained this thing, in which a small variation in domestic rate of interest will lead to large variations in the capital movement. That means a small increase or decrease affect the capital movement very much. After discussing the basic thing about the domestic rate of interest and international rate of interest, now we are going to explain that the monetary policy is completely ineffective in case of fixed exchange rate. So this is very important. This is basic conclusion of this theory, that when we assume a specific exchange rate and explain this model, then under the fixed exchange rate, monetary policy is completely ineffective in case of fixed exchange rate, and only fiscal policy will leads to increase the level of income in the country. So the model is basically associated with the two conclusions. The first conclusion is under the fixed exchange rate, monetary policy is ineffective, and under the flexible exchange rate, fiscal policy is ineffective. So this is the basic conclusion of this model, that is under the fixed exchange rate, monetary policy is completely ineffective and fiscal policy will completely works. And in the opposite case, in case of flexible exchange rate, monetary policy will be completely effective and fiscal policy will be completely ineffective. So by the help of various diagrams, they have explained this scenario. We will do this now. So in diagram 1, on OX axis there is national income, on OY axis there is rate of interest. There is a curve BP which is known as the balance of payment curve, which is perfect elastic. So the shape of the curve is completely showing us that this is perfect elastic. That is, a small increase in the rate of interest from OR will lead to capital inflows in the country, and on the opposite hand, a small decrease or fall in the rate of interest from OR will cause large capital outflows from the country. E is the point of equilibrium where IS means investment saving, LM means money demand and money supply, which is known as ISLM, which we discuss in another lecture about the ISLM model. And BP curve is in equilibrium. So BP is 0 at this point, and OY is the level of income, that is the natural income, and OR is the rate of interest. So finally we have done that when IS and LM both are in equilibrium with BP curve, that is E point is the point of equilibrium right now. So now, suppose now we already know that at E point OR is the rate of interest and OY is the level of income. But if government want to increase the level of income in the country, that is suppose YF, then to achieve the level of full employment in the country, then government has started a expansionary monetary policy with the help of the central bank of the country or monetary authority. So we are now explaining that in order to fulfill the objective of the full employment, the full employment level in the economy, the government has utilized the expansionary monetary policy. You know about the meaning of the expansionary monetary policy. Expansionary monetary policy is that policy in which aims to increase the level of money supply in the country. So as we know, the LM curve shows the money market equilibrium. Then because of the expansionary monetary policy, a shift will take place from LM to LM1 because of increase in the money supply, and the new equilibrium will take place at point E1 where IS and LM1 curve both are in equilibrium. With change in the level of money supply in the economy at E1 point, the rate of interest will now be decreased from OR to OR1. And as we have already done that, with the decrease in the rate of interest, there will start capital outflows from the country. So as a result, LM curve will shift backward from LM1 to LM1. That means it will go back to the point of E point, and in this case the diagram completely shows us that monetary policy will not work as according it was required under the fixed exchange rate. So this is completely ineffective in case of fixed exchange rate. On the other hand, the expansionary fiscal policy. Now, right now we have explained the case of the expansionary monetary policy in case of fixed exchange rate, but now we are going to explain it with the help of the expansionary fiscal policy in case of fixed exchange rate, that it will completely work. So suppose government investment is increased to achieve full employment at OYF. So we are in the beginning, we are at the same point that IS LM both are in equilibrium at point E, and OR is the rate of interest and OY is the level of income, and the government objective is the same objective as like in the previous diagram, that is to achieve the OYF level of full employment income. And with the help of, as we know that if the government apply the fiscal policy, expansionary fiscal policy, it will shift the IS curve upwards, rightwards. So because of the expansionary fiscal policy, there will be shift in IS curve from IS to IS1, and new equilibrium will take place at point E1. It will lead to increase the rate of interest. Because of increase in the IS curve, shift in the IS curve, there will be increase in the rate of interest from OR to OR1, as it is visualized in the diagram as well. And because of increase in the rate of interest, there will start capital inflows in the country. The money supply will increase, and because of large inflows of the capital, automatically there will be shift take place in the LM curve as well, because of the large inflows, large money supply, increase in the money supply in the economy. So there will also a shift take place in the LM curve from LM to LM1, which is showing that there is increase in the supply of money in the country at point E2, which is the full employment point. So under fixed exchange rate, fiscal policy a highly effective to maintain internal balance. So I try to repeat it again. So initially we are at point E. The government is utilizing a expansionary fiscal policy, due to which there will be a shift take place in the IS curve from IS to IS1, and because of this shift in IS curve, there will be increase in the rate of interest from OR to OR1. Because of increase in the rate of interest, now there will be large capital inflows in the home country, and because of these large capital inflows, the money supply will change, which will change or shift the LM curve from LM to LM1, and now there will be new equilibrium at point E2, where our objective of full employment national income will be achieved with the help of the fiscal policy. Now come to the flexible exchange rate and the Mundell framing model with perfect mobility. The conclusion will completely be changed if there is a flexible exchange rate in case of monetary policy is fully effective to increase the level of income and employment. So this is explained here with the help of example. Suppose there is an expansionary monetary policy which decrease the rate of interest. Because of decrease in the rate of interest, there will be capital outflows from the country, which further leads to balance of payment deficit in the economy. In such a case, under flexible exchange rate, to cover the balance of payment deficit, the depreciation in exchange rate will take place. Because of the depreciation, we know that depreciation is always helpful if we want to increase the exports of the country, because of a decrease in the par value of our country in comparison to the foreign countries. Now they are getting the more product. For example, if $1 is equal to 40 rupees, and now because of depreciation $1 is equal to 45 rupees, that means in the previous case, if a foreigner wants to purchase the product from the India, then they have to pay $1 and is getting the worth rupees the product equal to the value of the 40 rupees. But now if there will be depreciation and $1 is equal to 45 rupees, then it simply means that now that person is getting the product value of more 5 rupees. That is, they are paying the same $1 but getting the value not only equal to 40 rupees but 45 rupees. So that means that depreciation is always helpful to increase the exports of the country, and in this way there will be increase in the level of income and output in the country. So this is also explained with the help of a diagram. So in the diagram, initially we are at the same point, E point, where there is equilibrium between IS and LM, and suppose there is expansionary monetary policy which shift the LM curve from LM to LM1, and we are at E1 point, that is the new equilibrium at low rate of interest R1. Decrease in the rate of interest, again as I have already explained it, that there will be capital outflow and the condition may emerge of the balance of payment deficit. This will lead to depreciation in the exchange rate, which always favor foreign countries because their purchasing power increase and they demand more goods and services from our country. It will increase the exports of our country and the economy will move from E1 to E2 point at a high level of national income. And so in the case of flexible exchange rate, monetary policy is fully effective. Lastly, in such case, in case of the flexible exchange rate, fiscal policy will completely ineffective. This is also explained with the help of a diagram. Again, we are starting with the same point, E point, where I, S and LM both are at equilibrium. For example, if there is expansionary fiscal policy, it will shift IS curve from IS to IS1, and new equilibrium of IS and LM will take place at point E1 with the high rate of interest OR1. Because of increase in the rate of interest as balance of payment line is below the rate of interest E1, it means there will be surplus in the balance of payment, which leads to appreciation of the domestic exchange rate. Appreciation in exchange rate will decrease the exports and increase the level of imports in the country. And this process will continue till the IS curve will not shift back from IS1 to IS. So, in case of flexible exchange rate, the fiscal policy is completely ineffective. There is any doubt related to this model, then you can ask any question in the comment section. And if you like again, or if you want to know more, then you can also comment or email me for that purpose. Thank you.